Entertainer and vocalist Jamie Foxx. Many individuals have been pulling for him. New reports say that he is conscious and ready, and that his condition is consistently further developing. The music business never fails to flabbergast us with its startling, exciting bends in the road. Snatch the bowl of popcorn as we'll plunge profoundly into this entire quarrel and examine, assuming that Diddy did this deliberately. Stay with us. And prior to making any ends, try to watch this video till the end. Homophobia has been an issue in media outlets for a long time. In the past, it was normal for gay, lesbian, big names to be closeted, inspired by a paranoid fear of being segregated or even terminated from their positions anyway. As of late, there has been a developing familiarity with homophobia in media outlets, and a developing development to advance acknowledgement and consideration. In 2014, entertainer Kevin Hart had to apologize for homophobic tweets that he had made in the past. Hart had tweeted a few jokes that were hostile to queer lesbian individuals. After the tweets were re-emerged, Hart had to apologize, and he even lost his facilitating gig for the Oscars. You have placed a ton of things at the forefront of my thoughts, and I realize our relationship stands, so leaving here, I'm promising you I'm assessing this discussion. In 2015, artist Justin Bieber was additionally compelled to apologize for homophobic remarks that he had made in a meeting. And I just was stressed over about people's thought process. Like I said last time, I did a ton of things throughout the course of recent years that I'm not glad for yet. Definitely, I was only anxious to be before individuals once more. And Bieber had said that he didn't feel that gay marriage ought to be legitimate. After the remarks were made public, Bieber was met with a rush of analysis. He in the end apologized for his remarks and said that he was learning and developing. These cases show that homophobia is as yet an issue in media outlets. Anyway, plainly, there's a developing attention to the issue. An ever-increasing number of individuals are revolting against homophobia. And that's just the beginning, and more superstars are emerging as gay or lesbian. In the past, it would have been extremely challenging for a VIP to emerge about a homophobic encounter anyway. The way that Foxx felt open to sharing his story is an indication that things are beginning to change. Reports about Diddy's supposed contribution in gay gatherings and being in the wardrobe have been flowing since the 90s. Yet they, as of late, took a hazier turn with the rise of new bits of gossip that he's been preparing youthful and impending artists for a really long time. Everything began after Diddy's previous prestige Usher ended his quietness on his encounters with Diddy when he was only 14 years of age, and as per Usher, he was shipped off live with Diddy in New York City. And go to Diddy's flavor camp, an encounter that he portrayed as insane. When inquired as to whether Diddy's place was brimming with young ladies, Usher delayed prior to conceding that it wasn't precisely obvious. And you will go to Puff Daddy's, he's here during the 90s. Do you comprehend what that resembles? Puffy's place was like just loaded up with chicks and origin like relentless, right? No, not actually, except for he proceeded to express that while there were a few young ladies around, Diddy's put was more centered around different things. While Usher didn't carefully describe what precisely he saw or what the reason for flavor camp was, the remarks have started another flood of bits of hearsay and hypothesis about Diddy's supposed inclusion in the music business. Some have recommended that Diddy has been prepping youthful and weak artists for a really long time, utilizing his leverage and ability to control them. Curiously, Jamie Foxx has likewise been connected to Diddy's supposed gay gatherings and preparing reports. In a meeting, Foxx was gotten some information about his encounters with Diddy and whether he had at any point gone to one of his famous gatherings. Foxx wavered prior to conceding that he had been to a couple of Diddy's gatherings, yet he immediately added that he saw nothing unseemly. I would make an appearance to the party in my in a little town vehicle. This town, you realize I got my town, so I could skirt siphon the SUVs and the street Bentley. Anyway, Foxx's remarks have done barely anything to suppress the bits of gossip encompassing Diddy's supposed exercises in the music business. Some have proposed that Foxx might be concealing something, or that he's essentially attempting to safeguard his own
that
standing.
Diddy's standing as a
womanizer and hardcore partier is notable, and that it wouldn't be amazing in the event that a portion of the bits of hearsay were valid, no matter what reality behind the reports. Obviously, Diddy's standing has been discolored by the charges as an ever-increasing number of individuals approach with their own encounters and stories. We'll probably keep on hearing more about Diddy's supposed association in the music business and his relationship with youthful vocalists, in spite of the fact that Usher never unequivocally uncovered the motivation behind Flavor Camp. He said that he was paid to remain with Diddy and was permitted to remain up the entire night. With the grown-ups, Usher conceded to seeing a ton of wild stuff at the camp, regardless of being excessively youthful, to comprehend what was happening. When gotten some information about the presence of ladies at Diddy's place, Usher wondered whether or not to offer an unmistakable response, which left many pondering the idea of Diddy's get-togethers. In a new re-emerged interview with Kevin Hart, did he let it slip that he and Usher used to rest in a similar bed when Diddy was 19 and Usher was only 10 years of age, despite the fact that Diddy alluded to Usher as his sibling and kidded about wrestling over ice drops? I ought to appear as though he knew off goddamn plain. The circumstance raises a few serious worries about the connection between the two. One can't resist the urge to ask why a 10-year-old kid was doozing in a similar bed as a developed man who was not piece of his family, on the off chance that the circumstance had involved a 10-year-old young lady. Individual's responses would have likely been altogether different, yet some way or another individuals tracked down the circumstance interesting and kept on poking fun at Toon's sexuality. Anyway, the earnestness of the circumstance can't be disregarded, particularly considering the new claims that Diddy has been prepping youthful and impending artists for quite a long time. These reports and claims joint illustrate Diddy's way of behaving, and they should be viewed in a serious way and researched completely. While nobody has approached to blame Diddy for preparing or whatever other criminal behavior, there's a ton of film out there that shows Diddy making men self-conscious in his presence, specifically his meeting on Drink Winners, where he continued to press Spectacular to party with him despite the fact that Marvelous plainly looked awkward and didn't have any desire to participate in the discussion, has caused a commotion after the meeting turned into a web sensation. 50 Pennies began savaging Diddy about being gay, and surprisingly, posted images ridiculing him insufficient fifth. When you constantly called Puff games like your connections in Hollywood, I don't go no, I don't call him gay. I expressed report to the closest rainbow. Suffer hoodlums in venues. This prompted a ton of hypothesis about jingle sexuality, with many individuals contemplating whether he is gay, yet not prepared to emerge yet. Anyway, the main pressing concern here isn't Diddy's sexuality, yet the claims of controlling young fellows. This is a significant allegation, and assuming there's any reality to it, and it should be tended to the way that 50 Penny suggested that the whole business understands what the arrangement is with Diddy, yet nobody needs to express it without holding back is disturbing. It recommends that there may be a culture of quietness around the issue, which isn't smart for anybody included in the event that there are young fellows out there who have been controlled or made the most of Diddy. Then they need to realize that they have a place of refuge to approach and share their accounts. While Diddy himself has been moderately peaceful with regards to this issue, with the exception of a couple of meetings where he has evaded around the subject, when he was approached to remark on the Beverage Champions interview, he behaved like he had no clue about what they were referring to. I mean, it very well may be interesting. I don't exactly be on it like that. You understand what I'm talking about, like Charlemagne's arrangement against. Anyway, the manner in which he continued squirming and playing with his hands proposes that the inquiry hit a sore spot comparatively. When he was gotten some information about calling Nori daddy, he asked, as he didn't figure out the inquiry, and attempted to divert a discussion that was you scrambling hello. I don't have a clue in general. This contention brings up a few significant issues about the music business. And how young fellows are dealt with, it's critical to make a place of refuge for individuals to approach and share their accounts, and individuals in influential places genuinely must be considered responsible for their activities. Whether there's any reality to the charges against Diddy, there is a discussion that should be needed to guarantee that everybody in the music business is treated with deference and poise. So that is all there is to it for the present video. Trust you folks delighted in it well. What is your take on these new claims on Diddy? Are these genuine, or are these wanting to trap Diddy? Let us in the remark area underneath, as we love to peruse them.